Hi friends, I am Rob, the Dungeon Tutor, and welcome to another episode of RPGaDay 2022 edition. And this time we are in the 17th of August, which is time for the 17th question. And that question is, past, present, or future, when is your favorite game set? Now, I love role-playing in general. I have favorites, of course I have favorites. I think it would be a lie for somebody to say they love all games equally well. And all my favorite games are primarily fantasy. So, primarily set in the past. A past setting. Now, things being what they are, many fantasy settings assume they are built in the civilization of more advanced, based in the ruins of advanced civilizations. So technically they could be in the future. Like, for example, Numenera. Numenera takes place in the Ninth Age, meaning that there were 8 galaxy-spanning civilizations that spawned, rose up on Earth, left Earth for the stars, and never came back. So causing the life cycle to start over again after billions of years. So that the 9th world, every single particle on the world has been altered by the civilizations that have come before. Everything. Everything's been changed from the core on outward in some way, shape, or form to serve the needs of that phase of sentience. So one of them was human. And now humans, pretty much, have come back to dominance in the new world, although there's lots of monsters and other things. So that's in the very, 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 very far future. So that's kind of an interesting question. I think primarily what we think of as the past, though, is going to be my particular favorite. Things that pattern historical Dark Ages to Renaissance is the answer I generally give. I love fantasy, so that's been my first love, and swords and armor and desperate battles and sieges and fantasy races. I love orcs and dwarves and trolls and elves, and I love all of that. And even if it's not Dungeons and Dragons, it's still a genre that I feel probably the most comfortable in, and I enjoy more than any other. That being said, I would never turn my nose up if somebody wanted to do a more modern game, like a Twilight 2000, or D20 Modern, or Spycraft, or something like that, or Top Secret. Love to, absolutely. I wouldn't turn my nose up at anything that's futuristic in general. There aren't a lot of games that I would actually ever turn down. There's a couple of systems that I'm not fond of, but for various reasons, but and some of those are actually set in past sort of world settings, but that is by far the most positive hits that I get are on my past historical fantasy historical stuff. Just looking at my bookshelf, it dominates. It's not even close. You've got the massive amount of Dungeons and Dragons, sure, but you've also got other games like, Palladium Fantasy. I've got, Savage Worlds is a lot of the stuff I have is based on fantasy. Ars Magica, it's fantasy, fictional more fictional because it's set on Earth. Yeah, there's a lot. I'd say, though, that my tastes have become more eclectic. I've been gathering more future. I mean, technically, Torg is present day, but it's a weird present day that can actually lend off to fantasy. It can lend off to science fiction. Cyberpunk is futuristic, of course. Star Wars, yeah. Paranoia, yeah. So, but I would say generally it's still, yeah, fantasy historical. So that's my answer to the question. Sorry if this wasn't very revelatory. I do talk about Dungeons and Dragons a lot because I think that's what most people out there are playing. But as far as the games that I really, really enjoy myself, yeah, that's always going to be, I think, be tied to me to some extent, and I do enjoy them so. So that is my answer to this question. Thank you for joining me. I am Rob the Dungeon Tutor, or Omnisci. And if you like this video and you feel like making your own, feel free. RPGaDay.com has the list of questions for the month. And it would be fantastic to see new blogs or vlogs for this stuff. And if you want to talk about, what your particular favorite is, feel free to leave in the comments. I enjoy reading them, and I would love to respond back to you. Anything you post, I'll respond to it sometime, depending on how hectic my life gets. But, thanks for joining me. Thanks for watching this. I appreciate it, and I look forward to entertaining you with the rest of the month of questions from RPG a Day. Until that next time, though, my friends, farewell.